40s, yeah, it happens. That's pretty rare, even. How often is it actually 50s? Like, I think people are just bullshitting me when they say that. When I set this thing back up, I did it wrong. There we go. I think we're streaming on YouTube right now. Greetings and good evening,
Yep.
everybody. I'm in Facebook restriction land, so this is why I began my YouTube empire in the first place, because I hate being in Facebook restriction land and being silenced. YouTube's never silenced me. That's cool. Thanks, YouTube. I love you too. This is the pre-show, the show before the show, the show that we do every week. So, this is the show. I'm just posting it on my page here, just trying to get a few people to. Good evening, Brandon Hauk. How are you over there in Brooks, Alberta?
Happy cold evening to everybody.
We were just talking. This is, how often have you seen minus 50 in Alberta?
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen. Well, a few areas may have gotten close, but
I guess I'm not talking about high level. Like maybe up in high level. Okay, sure. Like it's been minus 50 in our lifetimes up there, but we're talking about central Alberta.
Yes, Red Deer, Camrose, Drumheller areas have a chance, slight chance to get close to 50 below without the wind chill. Then you add in the wind chill. That's when it gets fun. And we could be, some areas might have a dangerous wind chill value of possibly minus 59 if we do get close to that minus 50 mark. So that is like freeze your eyeballs off cold.
It is that. Okay, I think I got this all shared, so that's cool. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Susan Payne. Hi, Carol. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up right there, that little thumbs up button on the video screen. And all you new people, this is a show we make every week. This is the show before the show. The show, it's not the show. This isn't even the show.
Pre-show before the show.
So this is how it is. It's like back in our day at the band, we used to have a saying, Brandon, and that was rehearsal is for cowards, right? So I still believe that. Rehearsals for cowards. So in a lot of senses, this would be our rehearsal time right now to get ready for a recording, which we record it. Then in the past, we released it the next day, and that was the show. But then I thought, well, maybe we can get more people watching the show. You get it? So when Frankie comes at 7 o'clock, we're going to hit the record button, and we're going to record for a while to make the actual show that goes on to radio stations and TV stations. Actually goes on TV. I've never seen it, but apparently, so I'm told, we're on TV, Brandon.
Oh, yes. Well, someone took a picture of it for me and sent it to me, so that was kind of nice. I didn't see it on video, but...
Well, and it's typical. It's typical. One of the things I was doing this week on my Facebook that I'm now, restricted from. I could still do this if I wanted, but I'm so mad at Facebook. I don't want to give them anything. But I was just like streaming a bunch of old YouTube videos because I just never look at my old stuff. Once it's made, it's made. You know what I mean? And I move on. And it's like that with my music. Like I have, dozens of recorded songs that it's very rare for me to put them on and listen to them. Someone's here and I'm like, hey, have you never heard this? So I actually have a little contest on Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, which I'm banned from fucking commenting on till Sunday. But I'm asking people to take pictures of their thermometers in British Columbia. I want to see the coldest. And whoever gets the coldest, I will send them a copy of our last album, Joey on the Outlaw Band, No More Trouble in the Peace. I want to see the coldest. And if there's a tiebreaker, I said, it's like there's two people with 47 degrees Celsius below. And it's like, well, who do you give the tiebreaker to, Brandon? I say, well, the person in the swimsuit. They win.
Swimsuit.
Irregardless of how good it looks on them. It could be the tackiest thing ever. It doesn't have to be a nice swimsuit.
Oh, yeah. It could be a pair of Doppler radar shorts that I have here.
Yes, but
I can't win the contest because I'm not in BC.
The two people, well, you could make one for Alberta too, and maybe I'd send a CD for that as well. Like, it's got to be separate because we know Alberta's going to win this, and I know whereabouts in BC is probably
We're
going to win. You know which
Watson
region.
Lake so far. Is anybody, or I guess, yeah, up there.
Yeah, we don't have many interior weather and wilderness watchers from Watson Lake.
Oh, too
And
bad that it was minus 48 there this morning.
yes, it was. Okay, well, while we're talking, let's have a look at the. So this is. I
That's
just wanted to
Earth.
show you. We're in the historic cold outbreak right now. Polar vortex. It's extremely cold. Wow, people, and people are saying, "See, climate change ain't real. It's cold out. See, it's cold out." But look at the globe. The vast majority of planet Earth right now is not cold at all, right? And I'm not saying this is unusual. Anyway, I'm not making a value judgment. It's just like you can't make an overall picture about the planet Earth on the whole based on what you see out your back door in Quesnel. So, well, it's been cold before, so this is normal. Well, yeah, sure, that's brilliant. So here's our Arctic air mass breaking out right on schedule. And where's it going to go this week? Hopefully, it starts to leave BC. Oh, is it sticking around a little bit longer now? Fuck, it is an extra day.
Yeah. An extra day. And then it goes away.
Extra day for us here. That's great. I was hoping by Sunday we'd at least see like 15s or something. Well, it was 13 below in the sun today. My neighbor, he's an old man, and bless his heart, he
He's
had a
out
delivery of
suntanning.
food. He had a delivery of food coming, so he called me this morning. Could you shovel my walk? He's not. He physically can't. Maybe he can. He shouldn't. I wouldn't allow him. And I'm just like, hey, Brian, next year, it's been sitting on your step for 3 days. It's like, don't wait till it's minus 30 to call me, bro. I'm happy to come help you. So that only took a few minutes because the snow was so light and powdery. It was like literally, I took his shovel and went scrape, scrape, scrape as fast as I fucking could.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was minus 13 in the sun. That didn't seem so
That's
bad.
nice.
And I went around the corner to where his place was, and it was no longer minus 13 there. It was quickly. So the sun does have power, despite the fact that the air mass is extremely cold. So here we are, and now let's skip out. Oh, I did want to show you one thing first, though, before we do this. We're not even looking. We're not. Why is it doing that? We're not even going to be the coldest place on Earth, man.
No, Russia has us beat so far.
Yeah,
It's like minus 56 was the cold spot today so far in Russia. So yeah.
I think substantially they have us beat. Now, if we go to what I was just looking at here, reported temperatures. Come on, where are you?
I can tell you cold. I did post that.
I don't know why my reported temperatures aren't coming up.
It's too damn cold. So the coldest spot on Earth so far today is Ima, Russia, minus 56 degrees Celsius. Ima, IEMA.
I just had. I don't know.
Russia.
Look, I got it on there. Reported temp.
Yeah, I know that. They just like this. They like to disappear once in a while. The Russia temperatures. I know that.
Well, it was there not a few minutes ago. So here's reported temperatures right now, and yeah, already look at some of this stuff. This air mass here, it's sitting in the Rockies. I'm sure it would love to just find its way out. Its way out.
The Edmonton International Airport there, minus 40.
There we go. Yep.
Oh yeah. Right at the airport there.
That's so cold.
Oh yeah.
And so holy shit, it's minus 72 at Big Creek.
Big Creek. We're finally gonna catch up. Eventually.
Yeah. One of these days that's actually gonna be accurate.
One of these days.
Like soon.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Reported temperatures in
like
Russia.
Minus 49.
So Magadan's minus 30. I don't know what happened. Not 20 minutes ago, I was on here setting this up so I could have a really great display for everybody about how cold it's been.
And the
I was like,
temperatures
cool,
disappear.
this is gonna work. You know, let's try the old refresh. Maybe that'll work. Maybe
Maybe.
that'll work. Any comments so far? Peter Lipke, hey buddy, how's it going, Pete? Long time no see. Peter Lipke. We lived together in Vancouver for years. He's a man of great politics. Very smart person. Peter Lipke's watching the show tonight. Really great. Okay. Reported temps. No fucking way, eh? She's not gonna work. Well, you know what
Low
we can do?
temperatures for us.
We have an unofficial um, way of finding out. Hilding has entered the room. We have satellite readings. Except this site's been very wonky. There we go. Temperatures. Okay, good. So I would think that in this area here, come on, why is everything so funky tonight? I just need things to work. I just want to have a good show. Internet. Hi, Hilding. I just want to have a good show, Hilding. 47. This is not the first time I've had trouble with earth.nullschool.net this week.
Oh.
Is it my internet? Is everything just frozen?
Here's a site for you to try. It is called ElDoradoWeather.com.
Oh, yes, I like that one.
Mm-hmm. And that tells you the last 24 hours. Coldest and hottest. I'm kind of optimistic on the hot spot, though, today. Sometimes it kind of goes off. Kind of off a little bit once in a while, but I don't think it was 57 degrees Celsius in this one spot today. But
I need to spend some time looking at this site more.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, ElDoradoWeather.com. Did you know that I grew up a mile from El Dorado, Ontario, where the first gold mine in Eastern Canada was?
I don't think this site's named from El Dorado, Ontario, but
No,
probably.
because it's
But
El
that's a cool
Dorado.
fact, though.
This is El Dorado weather, it does say.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm going to take some time and maybe now, not the moment in front of everybody, but I'm going to take some time and look at that site thoroughly, I think, this week. Because it's been a while since I looked at it, and that's actually a really cool and useful site. And that's El Dorado weather, whereas I grew up in El Dorado, Ontario. That's
Right. There we go.
yeah, because you got the Scottish Irish types who would
Yeah.
that's where the accent came from back in the 1860s. They would have said El Dorado. So this is cool. You know how when you like click on this, usually it's like shows an area of BC, Caribou North, and that's pretty much this whole section up to Tetuan, Cache, Alberta border, McGregor, Williston, all the way out into the Chilcotin Plateau and up in the Caribou Plateau. It looks like over towards Stewart and Chaco, so towards Hilding as well. He's included in this. Wind chills of minus 40 to 50, Arctic air mass, temperature. So period of very cold wind chills is expected. So it ends by Sunday. So it's cool. Like you click on this one region, minus 30 to minus 20 for Haida. Okay, that's cool. We click up here and see what it says. It gives us this little report on this region, 45 to 50 up in Toad River, Muncho, Lake Liard, Watson, Swift River, Siskiyou. But then you go click on Alberta and it's just like the whole province. The whole province. Just blanket. Like you're all equally fucked, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
35 to 40 low temperatures. 45 wind chill values near 50. But what Brandon's been seeing, talk about the GDPS there. What have you been seeing? Who's going to get minus 50?
Well,
maybe,
yeah. So it all depends if these other models agree with this, but we've got the RDPS and the GDPS models, and these are both Canadian models that have been actually quite consistent on this pattern so far the last couple of days. If it wasn't as consistent, I probably wouldn't even mention it right now. But areas like Camrose, Red Deer, and Drumheller have a shot at getting to potentially minus 50 degrees tomorrow night, possibly, and wind chills in the mid minus 50s and easily pushing pretty close to minus 60 with a wind chill. So Could be quite dangerous tomorrow night.
Is
Central.
Jasper still slated to get 50 tomorrow morning?
I can double check. I haven't really looked at Jasper today, as I've been looking at those three locations all
Well,
day
and
today.
Jasper's more my backyard than yours.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, it is like it's literally just, two mountain ranges from here,
Yeah. And then yeah,
which might seem like a lot, but actually, if you were to fly, you'd be, you could take a helicopter from here to Jasper reasonably with fuel to spare.
Yeah, Jasper about minus 42 tonight. So yeah, they're gonna get
What
quite
about at 5 a.m.?
5 a.m.
That's when I was seeing
Minus
there.
40. Yep.
No 50s though?
No minus 50. Wind chill minus 50, but no actual minus 50. So that's what those two.
And it stops just short of Churchill. Poor Joe. He's
I
like,
know.
he's just sitting there here in Churchill right now, and he's looking this direction, going, "Come on!
I was
I
on
grew this
Winnipeg.
beard for don't make me grow a beard for nothing."
I was kind of bragging about us on the Winnipeg station. Us Albertans getting the cold weather. Not
Yeah,
Winnipeg.
I bet you've been on the radio a bunch talking about this all over the
Oh, yeah.
place.
All over the place. I was actually on in Drumheller and Camrose last couple of days because the radio hosts. I've been sharing all the stuff with the radio hosts. And they're like, "Oh, how about you just come on the radio station and talk to us?" Okay, I'll do that. All right. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. Yeah.
That's
I'm
excellent.
like doing a radio tour. It's like when you're doing a music tour, I do like a radio tour when these events go on. So I go from station to station to station to talk to people. And then do
I don't
all
know
the
if that's like my music tours, but the going from place to place, I guess that's got something in common there.
I guess, yeah.
I think Hilding's seen quite a bit of what our shows were like in the past, and how ridiculously debaucherous and often foul my brand of country music was.
It was a lot of fun, though, Joey.
Sure was. Sure was. With songs like, "Oh, the stupid fucking things I'd done. Well, I'd done them just for fun." Blizzard warning up there in Saluit, Quebec, Cole Harbor as well. What do you got there? Blizzard warning for them. 80 to 90 kilometer hour winds. Saturday, brief improvement maybe see on Friday evening. Brief improvement, but that's just brief. It's
brief.
Everything's bad right now. Everything's bad everywhere. And
Bad to the bone.
This has changed. Look at this.
Yeah, looks like they put the winter storm warning.
Yeah, that's changed in the last 20 minutes.
Yep.
15 to 30 centimeters possible. Peak snowfall rates 2 to 5 centimeters there in Ontario. So that's pretty close to where I grew up there, actually. So yeah, 10 to 25 centimeters on the lakefront. I got some video clips from Gabriel. I hope he shows up tonight. So there's Bancroft right there. So Mom's house is somewhere, somewhere in here. So that's change. Also, these watches were new as of a little while ago, earlier today, but special weather statement for Quebec as this big storm comes up this weekend. And so round 2 for everybody there. Storm this weekend. I like this, eh? Mount Carlton, storm this weekend. That's
storm.
Very descriptive. But I do like these descriptions. They're really good. High astronomical tides, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things. The meteorologists are very good at Environment Canada, obviously.
They do different things every place, yeah.
I feel very frustrated sometimes by the site itself.
Yeah, site's bad.
And it's bad. Let's just be honest, And I go to look at like weather maps, and I can only look at them this big. I can't even click on them to like zoom in and look at, it's just stuff like that on the models and whatnot that just irritates the shit out of me. So you go to the models page and look at these little tiny things and try to like draw large conclusions. So it's like you've made a site that's so difficult for people to use. They end up watching guys like me and Brandon.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's not a matter of the meteorologist. It's a matter of the political will to make something better. That's what it's a matter of, really, right? Harper gutted the hell out of Environment Canada. I don't think for all the talk of climate initiatives, the funding and finance has really shown itself yet to me, as you know, on the outside. I don't see large improvements. We got a radar at Silver Star that was down during the first major snowstorm of the year. So I'm frustrated by what we pay for, and it's like, so I pay for radar scope premium tier 2, and my taxes pay for. Of course, I'm poor, so my taxes don't pay for much. But theoretically, my taxes pay for Silver Star radar. So I've paid twice for a radar which I couldn't use during a storm. During the worst storm we've had so far this entire winter. That pisses me off fundamentally. So there we go. That's just kind of a brief look across Canada right now. And speaking of which, I got this queued up once I get out of this map. Here, this is Google Earth right here. So I want to take a second and, speaking of Ontario, zoom in. See, down here is a little town called Trenton, Ontario, where I was born.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Is there like street view?
Here we got
The
Canadian
airport.
Forces Space Trenton,
Oh, yeah.
for example. What's going on here? We got C-17 Globemaster, a bunch of Hercules. It looks like a Polaris CC-150 Airbus. Again, a bunch of Herculeses. Seems like a helicopter on the ground there. Difficult to make out what kind of chopper that is. Could be a Kiowa or something to that effect. Again, 2 Hercs over here. So that's pretty cool. Over here is the Aviation Museum as well. So there's the old Boeing 707 with the screaming engines. There's a Herc there. That looks like an Argus. And what do we got here? This is CF-101 Voodoo, CF-18. There's an F-86 Sabre down there. Here we got a German aircraft of some sort. Here's search and rescue. It's probably the single engine Huey. That's the Iroquois. These look like Silver Stars, T-33s. This is the C-47 Dakota. You'd be jumping into that in World War II to go land in Normandy. That was one of the most. That was one of the aircraft that was flown the longest by countries all over the world. Like, it was the most mass-produced, one of the most mass-produced aircraft that was flown. And even in the 90s, you could go to, like, in the middle of Africa, there'd still be these things flying around. The DC-3 is a civilian variant. This looks like a CH-113 Labrador. That was search and rescue chopper they used to fly to Trenton. They'd fly over my house often growing up, about an hour north of Trenton. Here we got, that's a MiG-21. That's a Russian aircraft. And here's a looks like a CF-104 Starfighter and an F-100 Canuck. And here's a CF-5 Freedom Fighter. And I'm not sure if that's probably a tracker, a CP-121 tracker, I might think. And there we have what would be the Tudor. That's the iconic snowbird. But anyways, I didn't come to talk about airplanes and how much I love airplanes. So in 30 years ago, my cousin, he was at the time 19. And he went drinking downtown here at Quinte West with his friends. And it was about the exact same temperature as right now. It was between minus 28 to 32. Late February, maybe early March even, actually. It was an extreme cold outbreak. So my cousin and his friend, they were down at the bar. And of course, they were badasses. So they get into a fight. And his body's broken up pretty good. So they end up at the hospital here where I was born. Trenton Memorial Hospital. And his buddy stayed, I think, in the hospital. And Jeremy decided what he would do, because they lived over on this side of the Trent River, was he would take a walk through Mount Pelion Park here, and he would take the shortcut, because what you do is you leave from the hospital, you go through Mount Pelion Park, and then you get to the train bridge, and you walk the train bridge. You just hope no trains are coming, which you lived in Trenton long enough, you know when they're going to come and when they're not going to come. What times of the night and stuff like that. So, dangerous thing to do conceivably. It's a very large river. Somewhere in Mount Pelion Park, there's a golf course right here. So he only made it several hundred meters off into this sort of gully or ravine. And he's missing for several days. And that cold snap eventually ended. And they found his body with his coat off, as if he was having a nap at 3 a.m, because that's the pleasant experience of freezing to death. Quite pleasant compared to burning alive or something, or drowning. Freezing to death is you just feel nice. You're so frozen, you feel euphoria and warm, and you lay down and take off your coat, maybe even, because you're like, oh wow, I'm pretty warm. You're not warm. Your nerves are so frozen you can't feel it. So this is hypothermia, and this is when people say things to me like, well, we've had -30 before, and that's just Canada. Fuck off with that shit, because so many people. This is not an uncommon story. This isn't an uncommon story at all. In fact, and you think, so it's like, it's not out in the wilderness. It's right there in the middle of downtown Trenton, Ontario, where that happened, right? And I'll give you another example of how, in a winter in Toronto, when it gets real bad, like in the year 2000, 75 homeless people might freeze to death. And that's, it's not just a matter of like, toughen up, we're Canadians, it's been cold before. When I say extreme cold, this can kill you. My friend Blay, he's a French punk rocker, and he was going back and forth across Canada via train. And I don't mean via rail, I mean riding the boxcar. And somewhere up along the northern route here, he fell asleep, and he with his boots untied in the train. It was deep cold in the middle of the winter, and when he got to Winnipeg, he found that his feet were frozen solid. And to this day, my friend Blay now is in a wheelchair. He plays sledge hockey and stuff. He's a badass. My first time I saw him, I was down playing a gig at the Wise Hall in Vancouver, and Blay, I started to I almost wanted to weep when I seen him in the chair there, and don't you cry for me, tabernacle, Okay. Right here in Wells, once this zooms in, there's a house right here where a grizzled old prospector used to live. If you just go right up past here, this is the house right here. This grizzled old prospector. Sorry, it's not that one. It's this one right here. This grizzled old prospector, his name was Steve Brown. And here in Wells, he decided he was going to sit in his porch and wait for his buddies to come so that he could, they were going to go drinking. He had a 6-pack of beer, and he sat in his porch. His buddies didn't show up, and they found him the next day frozen solid. So right there in town. So what does alcohol do? It lowers your chance of survival when you're in the extreme cold.
Yeah, I have a couple stories from Burns Lake to tell like that too. There was two native guys within the last 5 years that I used to work with, that I knew well, that they couldn't get the ferry to come home to this side of the lake, so they went to find a doorway to sleep in, and slept in the wrong doorway. There's a doorway in the skating rink where there's always a warm current coming out from a vent, but they were inebriated, and they got the wrong doorway. They got the doorway that was full of ice, and they froze to death.
Huh.
2 years apart, two brothers. So now the Indian community in town or the native community in town, excuse me, has put together to try to take the motel that was shut down about 10 years ago and make it into a homeless shelter. And they have things going along real good. Now, I heard last week that now some investors have gotten into it, but now they're going to insist that everybody who goes there has to enroll in a rehab program. Which
no, because you insist. You never get people to the point where they get to a rehab program if you don't help them survive.
Right.
So that's what I found when I worked at the
survive
safe injection site in Vancouver. I seen so many people. In my time working at Portland Hotel Society, 1,000 overdoses happened and nobody died at a safe injection site, right? And then how many people did we get into treatment, into detox, and actually saw them actually change their lives? A lot. You'd be surprised, right?
Yeah.
You have to allow that. Here's why I live in Wells, really, and it's this right here, where the lake comes, and right off the lake is the waterfalls, and the river just trashes down this canyon, and then comes out by the bridge here. And you sit on these rocks, and then we go up here and we fish. Now this is hard to get into. You can't there's no boat launch. So you actually have to either drag a boat down a fucking beat up trail. Good evening, Frankie. or
That's all.
put a canoe in or something. But this is where you want to fish, right here, just at the edge of this bay in the summertime. Oh, Frankie, if you could see how beautiful it is here. It is a fantastic part of the world that we get to live in Wells. So in a second here, I'll close this and we'll get on to starting the show, eh? That's what the mountains look like here, Frankie. When you finally start your world tour and you finally come west and you finally come see me for the first time, I'll take you to Ghost Lake where you can see the waterfalls come right off the lake like something you've never seen before in your entire life. It's so spectacular.
Down Long Beach, California.
And you know what I'm going to do? This is it. And it's not like, yeah, sure, Joey. Because when I say I'm going to do things like this, lots of times in my life I've done it. I'm going to go find my way up this old beaten up logging trail, and I'm going to get on this ridge crest, and I'm going to walk this whole goddamn thing. If it takes me 4 or 5 days, that's fine. And look into the glacial field. That's the only way into the Caribou Mountains is by foot. There's no other way, or helicopter. The boat can only get you so far before the treachery of the water will turn you back. Okay, I think we're ready to start the show. Hey, guess what, Frankie? It's so cold here. You know what I did? Well, I'll show you. Okay, guess what, Frankie? It's so cold here that I have multiple hoodies on. Want to see my hoodie? See,
Yeah.
dogs are never cold. How do you like that? Hi, Frankie. How's it going, Frankie?
I'm doing great so far.
We got Scooby-Doo on the show tonight.
Welcome to the Comedeorological Report, Frankie.
It's
What's the weather like where you are, Frankie?
mild outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. This Monday coming up, it's going to get brutal, bitterly, extreme, intensive cold in North Dakota and South Dakota and Nebraska and parts of Montana and Alberta next week.
That's what we're going to be talking about for sure. So that's Frankie McDonald. I'm Joey Only. This is the Comedeorological Report. You're listening to us on CKUW 95.9 FM Prince George, 88.7 FM Prince George, 95.9 CKUW in Winnipeg. I got it all wrong, Frankie. What stations are we on? Jeepers. CFBX in Kamloops 92.5.
I'm on CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM and CFBX 92.5 FM and Kamloops is on Shaw. It's on Rogers Spotlight TV in Victoria, British Columbia.
That's right. I'm your host, Joey Only, up here in Wells, British Columbia. You could maybe be watching the show live on my YouTube channel here. Please enjoy the show. Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. All episodes can be found there. So, here in Wells, BC, where last time I looked outside, Frankie, it was minus 28 on my thermometer. It is quite cold right now. We got, of course, Hilding Donaldson's with us and Brandon Hauk, the spectacular weatherman in Brooks, Alberta. That's our show. And we got some person that Frankie's invited in named Jarvis, who I'm sure we'll meet in sometime soon. Anyways, and Jimmy Donaldson. Frankie's inviting a bunch of friends, I think. So we'll see what happens. Frankie, time to roll. What's going on out there?
And did you hear about this? It's weather. It's mild outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Thursday night. On Wednesday, past they had high winds, heavy rain in Sydney, Nova Scotia as well. They had a lot of high winds and heavy rain in Sydney, Nova Scotia right now. And I do the weather reports for countries that don't even speak English at all. And I got so many fans in Wells, British Columbia, and they got another big storm headed for Wisconsin and Iowa, where Madeline Riley is at this Thursday night and Friday. Madeline, Havlik, Riley, Georgia's going to get hit hard. And it's going to get hit hard. Right, storm Thursday and Friday. It's going to hit National Bobblehead Hall of Fame, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's going to hit Michigan, including Detroit, Lansing, Grand Rapids, and Flint, Michigan. It's going to bring really high winds in Michigan as well. And a lot of rain going on in Detroit, and a lot of snow in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Fort Dodge, Iowa, and Webster City, Iowa as well. It's going to bring lots of high winds, heavy rain, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland on Saturday. It's going to bring lots of snow where base guy is Montreal. It's going to get extremely cold in Alberta, Saskatchewan, British Columbia. Cold weather is going all the way down Texas, where Trey Campbell is next week. It's going to bring really cold temperatures where Trey Campbell is at. It's going to bring really cold temperatures where Trey Campbell, including Roger the Wild Child Show and places like this. Winnipeg's going to be extremely cold weather as of right now. And it's going to get extremely cold weather. And California's getting Santa Ana winds, bringing fires and Santa Ana winds going on in California. It's going to bring lots of Santa Ana winds next week in California. That's going to trigger a whole lot of fires in California, where Trevor Garner is at, including in Arizona, where Gary Neal was at. Things are going great so far. And the weather for Central America, lots of thunderstorms and rain going on right now. Like Central America, I got a lot of fans in Central Americas right now. And the weather for South America and weather all across South America, lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, all the way down in eastern Peru. In northern Chile, it's really dry and windy and blowing sand around. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Amazon rainforest in Brazil. Storms coming off Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's a really hot winter going on in Argentina. It's so hot going there right now. Then it got lots of little bit of rain and thunderstorms going on in southern Chile and South America right now. And in places over in Europe and lots of thunderstorms going on in Europe right now. There's a high pressure system in England right now. That's a Hugo is from. And Oscars from UK, they're getting nice weather there right now. And lots of rain in the coast areas in Norway and snow up in the mountains in Norway, Finland, and Sweden right now. Really cold weather in France, Spain. They got some cold weather in France and Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, and they got snow hitting for Poland and Belarus and Moscow, Russia. In those places right now, Moscow, Russia, St. Petersburg, Russia. It's really cold there right now. And places like in Turkey, it's really cold in Turkey, and Greece, and Albania, Croatia, Bosnia. And so right now, it's going to get lots of cold weather going on in Turkey and the other side of the world.
I don't see it.
And in places like in and over in Western Pacific, like in China and Japan, and weather in China, lots of rain going. It's really warm in southern China. It's really cold northeastern China. It's really cold in Japan right now. In South Korea, North Korea, South Russia, and Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. It's really cold there right now. In Siberia, Russia, it's so cold right now. Including Yakutsk, Magadan, those places. Then it got snow hitting for Yakutsk, Russia on Monday.
Minus 30 Magadan right now.
It's so cold in Magadan, Russia. I got a fan over in Magadan, Russia. And did you hear about this? Lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in Philippines, Indonesia right now, Thailand.
Okay, whoever's drawing on the screen, can you please stop that right now? Who is that, Frankie?
It's extremely cold.
Which person is drawing on the screen?
Joe Young.
No, it's not me doing it. All right. Well, give me a second here. I'm just going to remove these people because I don't find that helpful. Okay. Where'd Frankie go?
Oh, did you remove him?
I don't think I meant to. Ah, shit.
Someone had a picture of me in their background, I guess. That was.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Donaldson.
No. We're not doing this.
No.
Can you rejoin at Frankie?
Ooh. Let's do a temperature check here. See what our temperature's at. As of, oh yeah, minus 30. Wind chill's minus 43. I think the house just cracked.
Yeah, I had that earlier. Sorry, I didn't mean to remove you, Frankie. I don't know what happened there. I clearly did not.
It must have been a glitch or something.
Yeah. I removed the other guys because they're drawing on the screen, and have time for it right now. Okay,
Over,
back to you, Frankie.
over in Northern Africa, India's in dry season, lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in Sri Lanka right now in those places, and places like in Sri Lanka, lots of thunderstorms, rain going on in far southern India, over in Africa, and weather in Africa, lots. It's really dry in Nigeria, Ghana, and all those places, and it's really hot. Then it got some cooler weather in Cairo, Egypt, and those places as of right now, and places like in southern Africa as of right now. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in southern Africa right now. And Botswana, Mozambique, Madagascar, La Reunion, Mauritius Islands, even Angola. Thunderstorms, rain going on in Angola. And Namibia is really dry there right now. And parts of eastern South Africa is getting lots of thunderstorms and rain right now, including Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Uganda, southern Congo, those places. And lots of thunderstorms and rain. And there's a tropical cyclone bypassing all across. There's a big cyclone off the east coast, off the coast of Madagascar, Africa, as of right now. And as for Southwest Pacific, down Australia, and those places in New Zealand, lots of thunderstorms, lots of rain and thunderstorms going on as of right now. There's lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in northeastern Australia, northern Australia. It's really hot in Australia right now. New Zealand is really hot out in New Zealand as well. We got hot weather in New Zealand right now. And Antarctica is 24-hour daylight, up North Pole, 24-hour darkness. Up above in Barrow, Alaska, the first sunrise will be coming a couple of weeks away. The first sunrise up at Barrow, Alaska, and all those places.
Okay, you made a lot of videos this week, didn't you, Frankie?
Yes, for Iowa, Wisconsin, and Michigan.
Okay, then. So I'm going to cue them up. I'm going to cue some of these up because look at this. Major snowstorm here. Iowa, Michigan, Calgary, extreme cold weather. Wisconsin, Montreal, major winter storm, Portland, Oregon, Wisconsin. Frankie's been busy on his YouTube channel. We got. Oh, who's Joe Gatto Sr.? Who are these people you invited, Frankie?
They're from New Brunswick, Canada.
Is Joe Gatto Sr. gonna draw on my screen?
They're only young ones.
Yeah. Maybe when we're not in the intro segment where we're like, Frankie, Brandon, what's all the weather? Then we could have a little bit of fun. But I find that a little disruptive at this moment. So I'm going to queue up some Frankie videos. In the meantime, Brandon Hauk, we got the chance of the first minus 50s in Alberta and central Alberta in your lifetime.
Yes. Well, for at least the first, many of us getting the first minus 50 wind chills at least. So yeah, that's a lot of fun indeed. See if I can do this or that. There we go. So just take a look at our temperatures right now and our wind chill values. We're at minus 30 now in Brooks without wind chill. Feels like minus 43. Got minus 32 in Bazzano. Wind chill's minus 44. And then we've got minus 30 at Latham, minus 45, the wind chill. And then we've got Hand Hills, minus 34, wind chills, minus 52 at this hour. And I believe as we scroll down to Calgary's minus 31, wind chills minus 41. Edmonton International Airport is minus 40, wind chills minus 49. So bitterly cold air across the area tonight so far.
That is harsh.
Harsh. That's my plan all along. Make things harsh.
And how bad's it going to get? I mean, it can't get much worse than that, can it?
Well, tonight's definitely not going to be the coldest night of the next 3 nights. Tomorrow we'll see your daytime highs kind of hover around the minus 30 degree mark, and then overnight lows popping down to the minus 40s for many of us, and a few locations, especially I'm looking at Red Deer, Edmonton, not quite Edmonton, Camrose, and Drumheller areas. Maybe the Edmonton International Airport, but yeah, those 3 areas could get downright bone cold tomorrow night of minus 48 degrees, and a few models want to put them in the minus 50s, but easily minus 54 to minus 59 wind chills tomorrow night in central portions of the province.
There's a great comment in the live stream right now. We just pulled into Dawson Creek. The wind blew heavy. My mom was weak. My dad was sitting on a bar stool drinking ale. Yes, I was born on the Alaska Trail.
Ah, that sounds like a song.
Yeah, I like that. Minus 29, Shelly Selinsky's saying right now, her place, I'd be up in Prince George area somewhere. So minus 4 in Courtney, Pete Lipke's saying. He says that'll probably kill him, though, and that's true. It's probably a little bit damper cold, that's the damn cold thing, It gets damn cold. Frankie, someone says they like their Somalia or Africa update because their husband's family is in Somalia. There's not much precipitation there, though, unfortunately. So that's, some of the comments right now that are going on. And, some of the comments that are going on. And
I just checked my thermometer. It's minus 19 here, which is actually warmer than it was earlier in the day.
Right, yes. Frankie, there's all kinds of strange people showing up in the waiting room, and now I'm scared to admit them. I'm scared to admit them. Because, what if they draw on the screen some more? trying to run a weather show here that's all about professionalism and anyways, here's Frankie.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Extreme cold weather's headed towards Calgary, Alberta on Friday, January 12, 2024. The temperature's going to be around minus 30 degrees Celsius. It's daytime high. On Friday evening, temperature will be going down to minus 47 degrees Celsius with the wind chill in Calgary, Alberta. Make sure you have your furnaces oil ready to keep the house warm. Have your heat pumps ready to keep the house warm as well. It's going to be a combination of furnace and heat pump to keep the house warm. When you go for a walk, don't even walk too far. If you want to go to places, get a taxi because it's going to be intensive cold weather in Calgary, Alberta on Friday, January 12, 2024. And it's going to bring really cold temperatures in Calgary, Banff, Canmore, and surrounding areas. It's going to bring really cold temperatures. And weather's going to be extremely cold in Calgary, Alberta. And temperature is going to reach minus 30 degrees Celsius without the wind chill. It's daytime high on Friday, January 12, 2024. And on Friday night, temperature is going to go down to minus 47 degrees Celsius with the wind chill in Calgary, Alberta. Be extra prepared. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea to keep you warm. When you go for a walk, don't walk too far. Because it'll be too cold to go for a walk in Calgary, Alberta, and the surrounding areas. I want every single person in Calgary, Alberta to be extra prepared for extremely cold weather. Stay warm as you can. Have your furnaces turned on and have your heat pumps turned on to keep the house warm for people living in Calgary, Alberta, and the surrounding areas as well. Because the weather's going to be really cold in Calgary, Alberta, and the surrounding areas as well. Have your extra blankets ready to keep you warm as well. If you have anybody living in Calgary, Alberta, be prepared for extremely cold weather on Friday, January 12, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get too cold, stay warm, be safe.
All right, major snowstorm in Iowa.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major snowstorm is headed towards Iowa on Friday, January 12, 2024. It's going to bring up to 6 to 12 inches, or more especially that for Iowa and Des Moines, Iowa, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be really strong, including Webster City, Iowa, and Dodge City, Iowa. It's going to bring a lot of snow, blowing, drifting snow reduced visibilities, dangerous driving conditions. Going to bring snow drifts, blowing snow, drifts and snow, highway winds, streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered, especially in Davenport, Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, and Cedar Rapids, Iowa, including Webster City, Iowa, and Dodge City, Iowa. It's going to bring blowing snow, drifted snow, reduced visibilities, dangerous or treacherous driving conditions in state of Iowa, especially in Davenport, Iowa, and surrounding areas. It's going to bring howling winds and since the cold air is coming from northern Canada and warm air is coming from the Gulf of Mexico, that's going to cause a big snowstorm in Iowa, especially in Davenport, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Webster City, and Dodge City, Iowa as well. People in Iowa, be prepared. Have winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats, gloves, scarves, ski pants ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure you have your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets charged. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time, drive a car slowly down so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking as you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready and turn on your furnaces and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green to keep you warm. Have your extra blankets ready to keep you warm as well. Make sure if your shovel, snow scoop, snowblower, snowplow, salt trucks ready as well. If you like anybody living in Iowa, be prepared for major snowstorm on Friday, January 12, 2024. It will start on Thursday, January 11, 2024 during the evening hours. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major snowstorm. Stay warm and safe.
And don't get caught in a major snowstorm.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major winter storms head towards Michigan on Friday, January 12, 2024. It's going to bring up to 6 to 12 inches of snow or more. Winds are going to be really strong, especially in Lansing, Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Flint, Michigan, and surrounding areas. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be really strong. It's going to cause blowing drifts and snow, reduced visibility, dangerous or treacherous driving conditions, even in Detroit, Michigan as well. And streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered. There'll be a lot of snow in Michigan, especially Detroit, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Flint, Michigan. It's going to bring a lot of snow. We'll continue on to Saturday, January 13, 2024. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be really strong. It's going to bring a lot of blowing snow, drifted snow, snow drifts everywhere in Detroit, Lansing, Grand Rapids, and Flint, Michigan. And Port Huron, Michigan is going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be really strong in the state of Michigan as well. People in Michigan, be prepared. Have your winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats and gloves, scarves, and ski pants ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do it right now. Make sure your smartphone, cell phones, laptops, tablets charged. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE ready as well. When you're driving car, take your time driving car and slow down so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very good walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnace heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green to keep you warm. Have for extra blankets ready to keep you warm. So make sure if your shovel, snow scoop, snowblower, snowplow, salt trucks is ready as well. If you have anybody living in Michigan, be prepared for major winter storm on Friday, July 12, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in major winter storm. Stay warm.
Okay, one more. For our friends in Oregon.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Major winter storm.
It's your entire body, Frankie.
Oregon on Friday, January 12, 2024. It's going to bring up to 6 to 12 inches so more, including Vancouver, Washington. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in Portland, Oregon, and surrounding areas that could cause really dangerous driving conditions and treacherous driving conditions. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in Portland, Oregon, and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a whole lot of snow in Portland, Oregon, Fuji, Oregon, Medford, Oregon, and Slam, Oregon. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be pretty strong. It's going to cause lots of blowing, drifting snow. Streets, roads, highways, and interstate highways will be snow covered. Since a cold Arctic air comes from northern Canada, it's going to trigger a lot of snow in Portland, Oregon, and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a lot of snow that could cause really dangerous and treacherous driving conditions in Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington. And if your salt truck's ready, put the salt on the road in Portland, Oregon, and surrounding areas as well.
Yeah, don't wait.
Portland, Oregon, be prepared. Have winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats and gloves, scarves, ski pants ready. order your pizzas and order your Chinese food, buy a case of Pepsi, buy a case of Coke, do your grocery shopping. Don't wait till last minute. Do
Do it right now.
Make sure your smartphone, cell phone, laptops, tablet, shirts, have a 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time, drive the car, slow down, so you don't get in car accidents. When you go for a walk, be very careful walking so you don't slip and fall. Make sure your furnace and the heat pump's ready. Turn on your furnace heat pumps to keep the home warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green to keep warm. Have for extra blankets ready to keep warm as well. Make sure your shovels, snow scoops, snow blowers, snow plows, and salt trucks ready as well. These will have anybody living in Portland, Oregon. Be prepared for a major winter storm on Friday, January 12th, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major winter storm. Stay warm and be safe.
Good video this week, Frank. There's a lot of videos this week. So I think now if your friends were like, hey, they want to, it's still playing in the background. Sorry. Now if people want to come in,
it's my dad, Frank McDonald, in the waiting room.
Oh yes, definitely we want him.
You have to get him on.
Yeah. Now if people want to join, I could probably handle. Because we're into the show now. We got the Frankie segment done. We got the Brandon segment kind of started. We haven't really talked to Hilding much. But now we got some time to go with the flow a little. Go with the flow.
Then you'll be getting my dad Frank on.
Okay, Frankie, tell him to come.
My dad, Frankie McDonald Sr.
Tell your dad. Okay, and you know what I got to do? Because it's getting colder by the minute in here. I got to put more wood in this wood stove in order to enjoy my existence. So Brandon or Hilding, I know Brandon's got some good stories about weird things this week.
Oh, yeah.
Hilding, we haven't talked to you really much yet. Here comes Brain Quinn, so we're going to find out what this guy is.
Brain. Is Pinky his brother?
Maybe.
Pinky in the Brain. You know that show, the Pinky in the Brain.
Brandon, I'm way older than you.
Where's Imogen?
I don't know where Imogen is this week. I was wondering that myself. She's so successful. Might lose her someday. You never know. You never know. So we got Brain Quinn now. Now we got time. If you wanna come in, Brain Quinn, and tell us what the weather's like where you are, we would love to hear that. Now that we are through our opening segments. But in the meantime, I need to put wood in this wood stove, and Brandon Houck needs to tell us about an airplane.
Yes, an airplane. Alaskan Airlines flight late last week, early this week. There goes Scooby-Doo as he grabs the wood there. But yeah, we had this Alaskan Airlines flight. As scary as that sounds. And we had, they got up in the air, like I'd say a couple of 1,000 feet there, and the door or the window blew out. So yeah, not good. Luckily, everybody had their seatbelts on because they would have, it would have been a lot worse case scenario there. But the teenager who was sitting right beside the window that blew out, or the part of the door there, his shirt got ripped off and it blew off the airplane. So he pretty much went shirtless down to the ground there. And a couple of other items flew out of the plane as well, as it was still in the air in the process because there's a lot of suction out there, a lot of air pressure and stuff. You get that. So some guy's phone got sucked out, their cell phone, their iPhone, like this thing. And a couple of days later, somebody's walking down the street in Oregon there and found this iPhone on the ground that was still in airplane mode because it flew off the airplane. That's one thing.
Hey, Joey, all those three have to go. Those three guys.
Those are the guys you don't want, Frankie?
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys. You're going to get the boot from Scooby-Doo!
Anyway, so they get they find this phone on the ground. So that's pretty pretty cool stuff. And then there's other story. Yes. Speaking of electrifying stories, a company released workout gear. That's right, workout gear that workout leggings that electrocutes you while you work out. Now, I thought that was another interesting story as well. You get in this workout groove, and it all of a sudden electrifies you, gives you a little shock. Whoa, gotta run a little faster. Well, those are some of the wow. Well, and then one more interesting fact I
Then
found.
my dad, Frank McDowell, will join, and my dad will be in the waiting room.
All right.
Yeah, he still hasn't come yet, Frankie. He still hasn't come in yet.
And I just let him know.
While we're waiting for Frank McDonald Sr., it's time
So in
for Scooby
Denmark-
Doo to put some wood in the fire.
Here he goes.
It's
Zoinks!
getting cold.
So in Denmark, if you're unmarried at 25, you'll get cinnamon thrown all over you on your birthday. Did you know that?
They do some weird stuff there. Like I heard you can like hire a clown to like stalk people and kill them and stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, if you're unmarried at the age of 35, then well, you get cinnamon all over you. Cinnamon wouldn't be too bad. It smell nice, right?
Well, there's worse things.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that whole airplane spiel. Like, it's one thing to have like the door get sucked off, and then the air pressure like blast your eardrums, suck your phone out the window, out the door,
Suck the
and
shirt
all the
off
papers
you.
flying everywhere, and all the screaming and all the horror. But imagine how friggin' cold that would have been, especially
yeah.
when your shirt got sucked right off.
Yeah, of
Mhm.
course. That would have been pretty chilly. Chilly Willy up there.
Yes. So there's that's one thing I was thinking about when you're talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
That means my dad, Frank McDowell, could be on the waiting room.
He's still not showing up.
He's waking up.
You know, we got no Gabriel
Yeah.
Berardo. Thought Gabriel Berardo was going to come. He was all stoked. We got a video clip from him at least, so that's cool. No Joe Stover. No Joe Stover. He's not here. Imogen says he's missing in action. And Olivier, he says next week probably, which would have been nice to have him because it's probably like minus 50 right now up in Kugluktuk and
Oh, let's take a
Iqaluit
look.
and all those kinds of places.
Kugluktuk. Let's take a look at their temperature. Kugluktuk. Oh, it's minus 26. It's colder in Brooks than in Kugluktuk.
Yeah, it's colder in Wells.
And it's colder in Wells. We stole his Arctic air. Shame on us.
Yes, yes. So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay, Hilding, what about the cows? What do the cows do when it's this kind of cold? How much feed do the cows need to stay warm in this kind of cold?
Well, we generally give them a little bit more, but it actually doesn't take that much more. At least the first day that it's cold. Sometimes the second day that it's cold, then they start eating more if there's more. But I did it. I put out feed in 3 different pens, so I just have to walk out there in my boots and open the gate tomorrow morning and again on Friday morning or Saturday morning. I mean, so yeah, we try to make it so that what they do is they go and huddle in the trees a lot. And then they make a warm spot by huddling in the trees, and their own breath keeps them all warm. It's kind of interesting.
They're like sitting there huddling in all that wood, and they're like, man, I wish one of us knew how to make this stuff on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to wonder what they think. But yeah, it's really interesting. Like when it's cold like this, I'll drive out there to feed the cows, and they're all up in amongst the spruce trees, all just standing there with this big cloud of steam around them, keeping them warm. Then they'll all run down into the feeder, and then they'll all stand around the feeder, and the feeder gets this big cloud of steam around it and keeps them warm.
I wonder why are cows so stupid?
What if they had a feeling?
They don't. They do. They do. Until they're like
Probably do.
6 months old.
One rancher I worked for used to say this. He said, "There's a gum chewing girl and a cud chewing cow, but I see there's a difference somehow." Oh yes, I remember it now. It was the intelligent look on the face of the cow.
Like the Corbin said, everything is better with some cows around. Living in town sometimes brings me down. I'll bestow this western blessing, leave you cattle bound. May you always have cows around.
Man, you deserve a Scooby snack after that performance. Good job. Well done.
Why, thank you, Shaggy.
Zoink, Scoob.
There's Stu Clayton. He said, "Cows are standing all over the yard. You can see the odd calf if you look real hard. One cow's walking away through the snow, says my udder's packed and I'm ready to go."
Who's Joe Gato Sr. and why does he insist on trying to come on my show? Why can't I just block that and be like, no, you cannot come on anymore? Frankie said no. Joe, that's not your dad's handle. He always goes by Frank McDonald. So these are reported temperatures right now. It looks a little better than it did like an hour ago for some of you, and it looks a little worse than it did an hour ago for some of you too. Right nearby here, what's it reading? Now 34 below at the Barkerville weather station up at Sliding Mountain right now. So that's cold. Other places in BC that are cold, 35. See, who is this, Frankie? Who is Joe Gato Sr.?
He's just an individual. That's all. You have to.
Report.
Report to the principal's office.
There. This is what you get for harassing me. Banned. See this? No, I'm not putting that because then everyone will know my name. Okay. Make that person stop. You're not funny anymore. We don't want you on the show. I don't know you. I didn't invite you. Some people were drawing pictures on my weather maps, and that fundamentally upsets me because there's nothing more important. Brandon's second account has entered the room. Who are these people?
Brandon's second.
We are getting totally harassed right now, Frankie, and it's not even funny. It's not even funny.
So that would be the guy named Jimmy Donaldson who had a picture of me in his background. Maybe? Is that? Yeah.
All right.
That was
I'm done
that
with
wasn't
that.
creepy at all, no. It's
No.
My good side too.
No, it wasn't creepy at all. So anyways, I think I figured out how to fundamentally block and ban that from happening anymore. 39's in Slave Lake. Now I'm totally off topic again. This is what happens. I'm trying to run a show. I'm trying to run a show and keep it going, trying to keep it with the flow, and I'm not even good at that. Okay? So like I need all the help I can get. Focusing
Brandon's
on my
second
freaking
account.
concentration. Okay, so here's some of the temperatures right now. Edmonton, 39 still. So that's a nice report. And up at Embarrassed Portage. Why would they call it Embarrassed Portage? I mean, what's so bad about the place?
Well, it's mostly Fort Chippewan. I'd call it Fort Chippewan. Yes.
Okay. 40 at high level. Those would be places we expect to see minus 40s for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do though. I want to turn this off and I'm going to hit play and we're going to look at some of these cold temperatures for a minute and just see how bad. In fact, I'm going to go to the full screen so it doesn't screw around with me like that no more. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look. We're just going to play on through and see how bad does she get. So this is the key time I want to look at is Friday morning, 48, 5 a.m. So this is on ECMWF. There's that minus 51 for Jasper I was talking about. Still calling it on ECMWF. So
Yeah. I think it's gonna be maybe up on the mountaintops, I think.
well,
then-
that's in the town.
And then
site.
down in the valley, she'll be about minus 40 or minus 45 range. That's where.
So ECMWF says one thing. Okay, this is
So-
annoying the hell out of me. Who's Jerry? Go away. You're not funny.
Oh, Jerry.
I don't like Jerry anymore.
Come on,
Jerry's
Jerry.
disrupting my show about weather.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe Jerry might have some weather. I don't know.
I don't know.
Might be.
It's just been nonstop. Okay. And I'm going to start just reporting every one of your accounts.
As long as you don't report my account,
No, I will not report your account. So,
And Trey Campbell's is a good guy.
Trey
Trey
Campbell.
Campbell's an
Yeah,
awesome
he's
guy.
good. He's awesome.
Yeah. We always want Trey
Yeah.
Campbell on the show.
The
I think
DCMF one.
Roger the Wild Child could be a guest. Roger the Wild Child could be
Oh,
a
he's
guest.
good too, I guess. Yeah. Roger the Wild Child guy.
ECMWF, it doesn't think it's cold
No,
down for you
that's the thing.
on
Yeah.
Saturday, but it thinks really cold in Jasper tomorrow morning. So who's going to be right? Someone's going to be right.
Maybe me.
GFS 38.
I
Yeah, it's
know
probably
he's
going to
right.
be you. Hannah Drumheller 38. 3 hills nearby there, so that's 41. They call it 3 hills because there's several hills there.
3 of them.
And,
Yes, I've been there. I've been there. Yes. 1,
like-
2, 3 hills. And there's
It's-
totally just 3 hills there. That's the best
It's
part.
quite something. It's quite something.
There's an A&W there too. Yeah. That's. I don't know. Anyways,
Okay, who's got funny weather? Who's got funny news from this week?
funny news. Any more funny news? Well, kind of. So, Indiana man survived 6 days in a car, stuck under a bridge. That's interesting. I was going to share
6
that.
days stuck under a bridge? What was he stuck under a bridge for?
I guess he just got stuck there and stayed in his car for 6 days.
Like, would you not get out of your car at some point?
I don't know. He may have had.
Why
a
was he
little-
stuck? Like,
Maybe
Indiana.
the water was frozen. This was in Indiana, so it wasn't that cold, I guess. So
No.
it was a little wintry, but
Okay, I think I found the article here. Let's get some verification on this story. Indiana man was trapped for days in a mangled vehicle, and he's had to have his leg amputated. So that's
Oh.
why he was stuck in there. He was probably
Yeah.
pinned, I imagine, leg crushed.
Probably.
So Matt Riom has lost his leg. He's part of the Boilermaker Union 374, which he's a member. So it's really nice that his union reps are speaking for him right now, and that's quite a story. Matt knows he has a story to tell. No matter how tough things get, there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's not always true, though. People say things like that. No matter how tough it gets, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. But there's actually other people who have had these kind of things happen, and they die.
Yeah.
Right? So there's actually not always a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, it's not, people say like, oh, everything happens for a purpose and it'll all work out in the end. Well, actually, no. For how many thousands of children starved to death today? It didn't work out for them. So like when
Due to
people
rising energy costs, somebody switched out the light at the other end of the tunnel.
So the guy, I still haven't seen how many days. It just says
I think it
4
was
days.
6.
6. It
Hey.
says
I want to go, and Joey was my father, Frank McDonald.
he never showed up, man. He
He
never
must
showed
be
up.
doing other things.
Must be. I found this other thing. Word Warriors.
He's working on music. He's working on music himself.
Awesome. Yes. So I found this thing, Word Warriors, some of the words that should be brought back. There's a couple weather words in here, actually. A couple of them, including thunderplump. Thunderplump. It's a heavy fall of rain during a thunderstorm. So as they say, he hoped he could get home before the storm. Got too bad, but found himself instead jogging through a soggy thunderplump. The thunderplump. The twankle. To twang with your fingers on a musical instrument. I like that word. Yes. Twinkle. 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 Oh, oh yes. Hockey. Hockey. Having a mocking or cynical sense of humor.
Okay, so Frankie, you can never give people out the link to our show again. This is ridiculous. This is 50 times, and they're making things like Joey take a joke. No, if I saw your face right now, I would fucking kick your ass. How about that for a joke? I'll edit that out after.
Then it'll be
Fucking little
edited out
punks.
for people TV.
Fucking little punks. I would fuck you up. There.
That'll be
Fuck
edited.
off and quit fucking trying to get into my show. And I'm not fucking joking. Okay, so edit that out. Back to the show. After the 500th fucking time of denying them. God, that is irritating. Frankie, you cannot give people out the link like that.
No.
No, it's not funny anymore. It's like I'm trying to produce a show for TV and radio. I cannot have random people trying to fuck with me. Okay, back to the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Says the guy dressed in a Scooby-Doo costume. Okay. Okay. Sorry, a little off topic, but I've been having a hard time this entire episode trying to focus on what we're actually doing, and
And that means
very
over
disruptive.
Russia's still at war in Ukraine.
So in Arizona, a pet goat has been rescued from the roof of an Arizona home. Firefighters were called to find that the goat was on the roof. So there you go. If you have a goat on the roof, the firefighters can come and help you. That is awesome. Meerkat has escaped a petting zoo in England. An emu has escaped from an Alabama home for a third time. There's an emu at an Alabama home, and it keeps escaping. So I don't know why people have emus, maybe for their giant eggs or something. I don't know. There you go. A massive gummy bear has broke the world record in Wisconsin. It's a 353.1 square mosaic of the company's mascot. It's a giant gummy bear. That's more gummy bear than you will ever need. Australian woman wins world's ugliest lawn competition. She's got a lawn that's so ugly. And if you see the picture of it, it's just like little tufts of grass and nonsense. A kangaroo has escaped Ontario Zoo. It's hopped loose around town. So if police said residents are not hallucinating. In Chatham, Kent, where at Howard Township, after Marsupial, and something like this happened to me once. Actually, we're back in 1998 or something like that. Neil Bruck and I were driving down the road outside Frankfurt, Ontario. Outside, just left his farm. We were driving just past the barn, the milk barn, and then we seen this thing on the road. And Neil's like, "Is that a horse?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And as we pulled up, it was an ostrich. And so what do we do? Because we were like 18, we're like, honk the horn and let's see how fast this thing can go. So the ostrich is running and we're yelling at the window, "Ostrich!" And then it says it takes off running, and then goes the ostrich. Like, okay, that was crazy. There's an ostrich on your farm somewhere, Neil. And then we realized that this guy nearby, he actually had this set up on his farm. His son was very sick and was going to die, and his only wish was that he wanted to have lots of animals that he could look at. He couldn't go to the zoo, so his dad helped bring the zoo to him, and they had agreements with the Bowmanville Zoo and things like that. So if they're doing rebuilding of pens and things like that, so we go there and we tell him, and he's like, "Well, it kicked me in the face last night and it's gone." And then his phone rings. He's like, "I'll probably feed it to my tiger." And we're like, "Tigers?" And then he like walks off to answer the phone, and we're like standing in his front yard, like, well, we're not leaving until he explains the tigers. And there's like eagles and monkeys. There's all kinds of stuff on this guy's farm. It was totally bizarre. And then sure enough, he comes out, he's like, "Well, that's gone. Want to go see the tigers?" We're like, "Yeah, I thought you'd never ask." And you go down, there's like a chicken wire fence between us and the tigers. He's like, "Yeah, just make sure when you have food, they can't see the food. You got to feed them from this slot, or they'll come through the chicken wire and kill you." You know, other than that, they're very friendly. And it's like, okay. So that was, there you go. So we were not hallucinating. We saw an emu. And same with people in Oshawa from a kangaroo previously escaped from the Oshawa Zoo Fun Farm in early December. So there you go. Missing ostriches. Craziness.
Awesome.
A Canadian
That's
couple in New Brunswick has rescued a moose from an icy river.
Oh yeah. So back to your ostrich thing, that reminds me of the time, not last year, but the year before in Tabor, Alberta, when we had a pile of ostriches get loose in the town there, running wild. The the owner of the ostrich there tries to reach out of the police cruiser to grab the ostrich, and he missed, and the ostrich falls over, and he gets back up, and he runs away. Oh, that's probably the funniest video I've seen for quite a while. Watching that. It's happened in Tabor, Alberta.
I really respect somebody who'd stop and rescue a moose. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't do that. They'd be like, that's a terrifying thing to do. Honestly, that's something I would probably try to do. There was also a deer in New Hampshire who was rescued from a frozen pond. And just last week, I was down there at Bowen Lakes, and the water's still open down there, and there's a whole bunch of swans. They decide to stick around for the winter, and they're swimming around down there. And I wonder what life is like for them right now, because I know the ice can freeze up fast, even when it's slightly flowing like it is at the mouth of the Bowen River. Swans get frozen in ice and have to be rescued. This happens. So I'm hoping the best for our swans down there. And I'm sure we got a photographer who lives down there who's a really wonderful guy, Thomas Dosdowski, and he's out there a lot. I'm sure he would see them and he would mount such an expedition. So
I remember those clowns and trolls from back in 2010. They all moved on.
yeah, lots of clowns and trolls, eh, Frankie?
Lots of clowns and trolls from 2010. They all moved on to the next chapter of their life.
Yeah, did they harass you relentlessly, Frankie? And then you started a whole new YouTube because you didn't like the clowns and trolls, didn't you?
I didn't know how to ignore clowns and trolls back in the day in 2010. Now I ignore all clowns and trolls.
I generally do too. In fact, that's why I live the way I do out here. I mean, it's really difficult when you're trying to talk with your friends and the clowns and trolls just keep popping up again and again and again. And it's like, if we were in public and you were doing that to me, I would literally slap you silly. That's me. I'm a cowboy mountain man. I don't put up with that kind of stuff. I also don't do that kind of thing to other people. I'm very polite and respectful, and I believe in what's called the cowboy code, right, Hilding?
Yep. Exactly.
What is the cowboy code, Hilding? Explain for the listeners.
If somebody does something that needs rescued, you rescue them. If they do something that is offensive to somebody else, you stand up for the other person. You don't try to harass other people because you don't believe in being harassed yourself.
The cowboy code is always
I remember those guys back in 2022, like those guys in England, they were trying to harass me back in 2022.
Yeah, how long? I mean, you've probably been dealing with a lot of this kind of stuff since you were young too, right, Frankie? Like, did you have bullies when you were young?
Yes, some of it when I was a young kid, a long time ago.
And I bet you some of them bullies now, they walk around Sydney, Nova Scotia, and they see Frankie, and they see you, and as you're walking by, everyone's like, "Hi, Frankie, hey!" And then as they walk by, no one says hi to them because they're jerks, and they've always been jerks. Maybe a few people say hi to them, but they have to live with the fact that once we get older, you grow up and you see what kind of people become, and you're like, wow, I was really mean to that person for no reason whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the thing. That is the thing, right?
And then,
at what point, Frankie, did you think that people started being nicer to you?
Monica's doing great so far.
Is she?
She's doing great.
Yeah. What's going on out there where she is in that part of the world there in New Brunswick?
Yeah, it had lots of snow and rain, lots of snow in Bonaventure, Quebec on Wednesday, and where Monica Beaulieu is at.
Excellent. We got 6 minutes left in the broadcast, Frankie. 6 more minutes for anything else we want to talk about in the world to all our people who listen to us on C4 88.7, CKW 95.9, and also CFBX 92.5, and Kamloops, and of course Rogers TV. Thank you very much, Rogers TV. I hope I said that earlier today. Man who claimed to be selling Queen Elizabeth II's walking stick is sentenced for fraud. So do not be selling Queen Elizabeth II's walking stick if you do not have Queen Elizabeth II's walking stick.
That means that Russia's still at war, fighting over blowing things up.
Yeah. A lot of people in the world are just hell bent on making things miserable for everybody else, aren't they?
Russia is against the whole world.
Yeah, they kind of are, aren't they? They always sort of have been. But if you look at the weather right now, you live in Russia and you look at how nice the rest of the world is, you're probably like, man, the world is against us.
They're bullies. The entire country's bullied.
Yeah, well, so has the United States been. In fact, I think any country that's highly successful has been engaged in bullying as a matter of policy. And it's just us at the bottom here. We sit and talk about the weather, and we don't do much harm to anything or anybody else in the entire world, right? But there's a lot of people out there who are just scheming for how to have more power, more money, more everything. Frankie, out there out in the world, how can people find you on the internet?
My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie AMCDON. My YouTube channel is Sox Wolves, and my LinkedIn is FrankDown. Best luck down, FrankDown. You're listening to Joey Only Show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. No clowns and trolls.
No clowns and trolls. Shaggy? No clowns and trolls. Frankie, how much snow are you going to get this weekend?
It's going to get lots of snow to change, lots of rain and wind in the city of Nova Scotia this weekend. Lots of snow in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Chicago, and Michigan.
So we were expecting snow in Sydney, but not so much now, you don't think, eh? And we'll find out in good time who gets the -50.
Then he got the total solar eclipse. Then he got the total solar eclipse heading right for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8, 2024.
I gotta admit, Frankie, I'm having trouble putting groceries in the cupboard right now. I don't know if I can fly to Nova Scotia, man.
Nova Scotia
as much as I want to.
Canada. I repeat, Nova Scotians in southeastern Canada. And Sydney, Nova Scotia is in eastern Nova Scotia.
Yeah. There's nothing I'd rather do than go there. Believe me. I've been all over Canada, and the one place I've seen Cape Breton from the ferry between PEI and New Brunswick there in Nova Scotia. But I've never, that's one of the few places in Canada I really like to go see that I haven't been on. I'd like to go up to the Highlands. I'd love to be there. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to have us all be there together but I'm also a dad, and I got, I'm having trouble making ends meet right now. So it's hard to imagine taking a trip. It's hard to imagine. And I guess that's the reality for a lot of people, especially because, at the dead of the winter, it's a hard time for us to, it's like you got all summer to make money. And at the end of the summer, you can afford a trip. When you're sitting there in January, like, can I take a trip in April? You're like, yeah, right. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, though. Go see the solar eclipse in Sydney with Frankie. Wouldn't that be so awesome?
Then again, Base Guy on vacation. Base Guy could return next week.
Yeah. You should tell Base Guy to come on the show here sometime. That's someone you should invite on the show, Frankie.
Base Guy and his best friend Patrick Macca. Best friends with Base Guy. Patrick.
What about you, Brandon? This weekend, any plans?
Any plans? Well, this weekend I am gonna freeze. I'm gonna potentially make a t-shirt frisbee and play frisbee by myself in the front yard. So that's what I'm gonna do there. And then I got a couple of hockey games to broadcast this weekend. So I'm gonna be in the cold radio station, getting hockey broadcast going for the band.
Yeah, what's the record of the Brooks Bandits so far this season?
Oh, yes. The season so far, we've only lost I'd say 3 to 4 games so far out of the whole season. So we're doing pretty well. We're on a big winning streak again. So
we lost 3 or 4 games all season.
Yeah, since September.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, that is crazy. So hey, everybody, thank you for am I a podcast that's on the radio? That is correct. So we got
That's
lots of
the
comments
show.
right now. Lots of comments right now, and I just want to quickly, because I know I got to cut some time out, Frankie, because there's some things that I had to say. And oh man, this guy is really crossing my line. So my mom, good to see you, Mom. Glad you tuned in. She's got to bring in lots of wood tomorrow. Reba Escott's frozen up as 2 days ago. Building sounds like do unto others. That is exactly it. And all those starving children we could feed, the world we spend on growing stuff to kill weeds on lawns. Yeah, exactly. Really, it's like crazy. Exactly. So yeah, we are a podcast, but we're actually more of a radio show than we are a podcast. That's the thing. So we air on Rogers TV every week. Thank you, Rogers, for having us. We air on 3 radio stations consistently, and others off and on. Sometimes they pull us in if they need us. So that's what we do every week. Thank you to CFIR, CFBX, CKUW. Very much appreciated. And that's all I think for the broadcast this week. We'll see you next time, eh? That's the show, Frankie.
See you, show.
That's the show. Okay, stop recording.
And there's a lot of clowns and trolls out there.
Yep, they are definitely going on today.
Then they have to edit out the foul languages.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Well, I'm just gonna edit all that out. So that's okay. So yeah, thank you for people who are on the live stream. Yeah, and whoever is in the waiting room who has the name Joey is a rapist and wants to come in my show, I will fucking kill you if I ever see you. That is some classic trollism. That's like, you got nothing better to do than go shit on someone else's day. You got nothing better to do, go fuck with people, things that people are trying to do. People got something going on, that's good, that's working, they put work and effort into it, and you got nothing, because you're an idiot. You sit there at home trying to screw with other people's shit because you got nothing. You're a clown and a troll. That's all you got. That's all you're ever going to be. You got no intelligence, you got no drive, you got no will, you got no compassion for anybody else in the world. You don't even have compassion for your own damn self. That's why you are the miserable way you are. You are a clown and a troll. And that's how little respect I have for people like you. And it's true, Frankie. I have been known to absolutely kick the shit out of bullies, and I don't mind saying it in public. I don't care if you're an internet bully. I don't care if you're a bully talking down my friends in public. I will not put up with it. I never have, and I never will. I never treat people like that. I never expect anyone to treat each other that way. So thank you, everybody, for reporting the comments. I've probably put about 30. I don't understand why I can't block people off Zoom. That's a huge fail. Zoom. And maybe why I should switch to StreamYard. I can't actually block the same people from repeatedly harassing me, even after I report it 50 times. That's what I call a fail.
Or you could create a whole new Zoom link.
Yep, maybe you have to do that sometime. But that's ridiculous that we should have to adjust what we do because someone out there has got no life of their own, who we actually allowed to come on the show to begin with because we're open and nice, and we would have allowed you to come on and talk and say what you had to say and join us. But instead, you started scribbling on my page. You started screwing with us.
And that means there's a lot of guys have nothing better to do.
Nothing better to do, Frankie. No brains, no hope, no originality. Nothing but pure, selfish lashing out at the world because you are empty inside. Because you have nothing inside that makes you feel good. That's all you got. That makes you feel good is to make other people suffer and miserable. People like that, the world is full of them now. And maybe it always was. It's just that in the past, if you didn't like them, you probably didn't go anywhere further than 5 miles from your house. So some guy on the other side of the country who's an asshole would have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not out here making stuff with my friends like Frankie and Brandon and Hilding because, you know, we're here to take your abuse. And I know Frankie's put up with a lot of it in his life. And that's why I don't feel like, you know, there's none of that in my life until Frankie shows up. All right?
But you're not
So, you know,
blaming Frankie.
no, I'm not blaming Frankie at all. You get what I'm saying, though?
No, I
This is
got
like-
what you're saying.
This is a peek into what Frankie's had to put up with over the years. It's a little
Oh,
look
yeah,
into
I
it.
know. I
It's
had
a
to put
little,
up with these
it's a moment
too.
for us to say, wow, that's what Frankie's had to put up with all the time. Maybe it was 30 minutes of annoyance for me. That's what Frankie's life's been like a lot of times.
Yep.
And yet you're still awesome, Frankie, and kind
Yes,
to
I'm
people.
awesome.
You're still loving and kind to everybody. Don't
Yeah.
change that. Don't change that. Because that's the thing that those people don't have and what they hate about us that they want to break. That I would go when it's minus 30 next door and shovel my neighbor's walk. Even though I don't want it. Because I care about my goddamn neighbor.
Mhm.
I'd do anything for him.
Exactly.
Especially if your house is right next door to mine. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if I like you. I'll do anything.
Those clowns and trolls, they could be after other podcasts too.
Yep. Yeah, and it's like it's also a peek into what they're like in general in the world, right? So that was a fun episode, having clowns and trolls constantly harass us. Thanks, Zoom, for allowing no ability for me to block people from repeatedly trying to come on the show after I. So I guess that's why this is a meeting and not a stream service. Maybe StreamYard would be better. I do not have the money right now to invest in StreamYard. So anybody,
That means that they just continue. You have to use Zoom. You just create a Zoom link.
just I have to switch things up next time, eh? Well, anyways, sorry about that little outburst
Yeah,
from Joey,
That's
but
why
I
they have
meant
to
every
create.
word of it.
They have to create a whole new Zoom link.
And any of you little punks ever want to come to my face and find out. That's the show for this week. Hit like and subscribe and share if you want to be one of the good people.
That means you have to. That's why you have to create a new Zoom link.
We may have to do that next time, Frankie. But in the meantime, we got people like Susan and Reba, Carol and Richard and my mom Allie and you know, all these good people who've been here today watching once again. And thank you very much for all the support over the years. I got a whole bunch of new Patreon supporters this week, Frankie. I mean, not enough, obviously, but
Well,
each time
I'll
if I get one or two, you know, little things like that in a day, I'm like, I should keep at this. Maybe I
got
should
a
just
new
give up.
credit card set up this week, and I decided I was going to apply to your Patreon page, and then Google went and banned me from using my credit card on the Google. I'm not sure what's going on. They don't trust my credit card. I don't know what.
Well, I appreciate it, Hilding. You've done lots for me over the years, man. So,
Yeah.
you know, do lots for me every week. So
Well, I try my best.
it's not the people who do lots already that need to do more. It's the people who do nothing that, you know, just do something. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. That's free.
Yeah.
You know, that hit the share. That's free. So, anyways, thanks, guys. Talking to you is always the best part of my week. And since I put wood in the stove, it's moderately tolerable in here. For a little
Temperatures
while.
dropped here a degree,
What do you got now?
minus 31, and then a wind chill now of minus 46.
It's
Yikes.
getting over here too. Let's see. When is 21 now?
21.
Minus 52 wind chill at Hand Hills, just to my north there.
I gotta go look at my thermometer. I'm gonna get you a reading. I'll be right back. Before we go.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Everybody's below minus 30 in Alberta right now. Yep. No surprise
Yeah.
there. minus 30, minus 46 with the wind chill, minus 31. Wind chill is minus 45. Minus 50 wind chill, huzzah. Sheerness minus 35, wind chill minus 51. Calgary, mist minus 31, wind chill minus 45. Minus 45. Edmonton.
It's actually so frosted up that I could barely see it. I had to like rub the ice off of it. So it looks like we're about 29.
Minus 29.
Yeah.
Edmonton International Airport, minus 38, wind chill minus 50.
So we only dropped 1 degree in the last 2 hours.
Whew. Iska Richtown. Any more minus 50 wind chills on my? I've got this. I've added every town in sight on this weather profile of mine. So Sunny Nook's minus 50 with a wind chill.
Watson Lake 43 now reporting.
Oh, yes.
Mayo 45. That's way up there. Dawson City 43. So some of those coldest ones are still up in the Yukon. Everything down south. We got lots of 35s in Alberta certainly right now. Some 39s. So that would be the next definitely coldest region, I would say, after that.
Yeah.
Is that Yukon, North Territories down to Alberta stretch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every place is below minus 30 here. Yeah, there's minus 35, minus 36. Oh, we got Barnwell minus 29. Still, you got a wind chill minus 43. Yeah, it's nasty.
Miserable. Williams Lake reporting 29, Quesnel 26, Prince George 29 and 30 up on the driving west of town there. Probably by Beaverly, I think that station is. Tamarack, yes. Burns Lake reporting 30 and 34 just north of. Pinchy at 28. We got some 35s in the mountains east of Bear Lake. So that's definitely cold. Up in the Peace region, a bunch of 28s to 35s in that sort of spread, but mostly on the lower end of those numbers. And even down at Williston Lake, some reports of 24 on the east arm, but on the north arm, it's minus 39 up there. So as you go up and down the lake, you're going to find some variety of temperatures.
Oh, yes. 3 in a row of minus 35 there. Look at that.
100 Mile House reporting 30 below.
Oh, Charlottetown, PEI 0.
Same with Lee's Corners and Puncie at 35. Squamish at minus 8. We got a minus 19 at Webster's Corners, BC. So that's just outside Maple Ridge.
Well, that's pretty
suspicious.
That's cool.
That's suspicious.
Just like that other place that's still minus 72.
Yeah. Little dragon outside Invermere, 32 below. So coming down the trench, there's a bunch of 19s and 20s and 21s down the trench through Golden and whatnot until you get to sort of up in the mountains probably. So that's probably at the ski hill. Yeah, Little Dragon, that's a ski hill. So up on top of the mountain there, 32 below. Not so much down the valley. Job Creek near Nordegg, 39 below. Jasper right now, sitting at minus 31. So are they going to get to 51 by the morning? I'm a little skeptical on that at the moment. That'd be a 16 drop still from now. I don't see that. Do you see that?
No, I don't think they're going to get. I think they might get to minus 40.
That would seem reasonable based on this number at this time of day.
Yeah.
It's like we're already entered well into the night now. So, if we're at 34 in Jasper or 31 right now, then I'd say like probably we're looking at 40 by the morning.
Yeah.
It would have to be something dramatic to make it drop down to 51. So I'm going to call a no-go on the 51 prediction for Jasper tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But Alberta on Saturday morning, that remains to be seen.
I think that's pretty good. At least well below minus 40 for everybody. So tonight we're going to be well below minus 30. Tomorrow we're going to be staying at minus 30 through the day for most of us. So yeah, chances are pretty good, and the sky's going to completely clear out tomorrow. So we get rid of all that leftover clouds, those flurries around, and then the sky clears up. You get some ice fog patches. Oh boy. It's going to take the
There was a nice
temperature-
ice fog last night here in Wells,
Yeah.
just around sunset. It was quite neat. And I was like, I should go back out and take pictures of that. And then I thought, nah, people will believe me if I tell them. I'm not going back out.
Actually, we didn't have any this morning. We usually have ice fog in the morning because the lake's being around, and this morning there wasn't any. I was really surprised.
How much of the lake is still open? Francois Lake.
Francois Lake never really freezes completely because the ferry keeps it open.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Utes Lake will be about 3/4 covered, but it had so much ice that came and then broke up like back in October, and it's hard to tell. The lakes have been really funny this year because there was cold weather too early and warmed up again, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess I'm going to get something to eat. And my dog needs to go pee. So I'm going to go back out and look at the thermometer again. And and maybe I'll go pee with them just to see if I can handle it. All right. Thanks, you guys. And thanks to all the good viewers. Appreciate it. That wasn't at all stressful, trying to keep my brain focused. You know, when you're a little bit ADD, I'm really good at like balancing 15 things at once. But then I get to this moment where it's too much.
Yeah.
And then it's just like red noise. It's like I'm trying to hear Frankie, but I'm trying to make that stop. But I'm trying to,
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying to look ahead at what I want to do next. I'm trying to, it's just like it's messing with my flow, man. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. So thanks for anybody who reported them on the YouTube chat too. Some of that was pretty upsetting. So, yeah.
I think you managed to get it handled. Hopefully we don't have another interruption next week.
Oh, hopefully they come to Wells and find out someday. Get some mountain man treatment.
Yeah. You don't put up with shit.
The old duct tape you and cover you in honey and leave you in the goddamn bush.
Yeah.
On that note, bye.
Okay. Have a good one.
Doodles.
Love you guys. And Mom says, gave me a chance to show my heart. I shouldn't need to be driven half insane to show my heart, Mom. Love you, Mom. And I don't know if you caught the beginning of the broadcast, Mom, but I was talking about Jeremy when he froze to death at Mount Pelion. We were looking at Brandon and I were looking at the Google Earth images of Mount Pelion, just talking about how a lot of people freeze to death very close to warm. It's not like just something that happens out in the wilderness. It can happen to you. Your dish car goes in the ditch on the way home tomorrow morning, or the way to work tomorrow morning, and no one comes for an hour and finds you. That can be you. It's so easy to
We
freeze
don't
to death.
have
It
the
happens.
privilege of having 6 days like the man did down in Indiana.
Yeah, really. You would not last 6 days in this. You maybe 6 hours in this temperature. Yeah, if you are very lucky, your leg is crunched and broken and you're in shock. No. You go into shock in an accident in this temperature, you're probably going to die.
Yep.
You know? So that's the reality of it. You know, these are extreme temperatures for a reason. They cost people their hands and feet and lives and their noses and all that, right? So get through this next bunch of days, everybody. Yeah, if you're a business owner, just shut down. It's only a couple days. Shut down. Don't make your workers come to work.
Yeah.
Just everyone stay home. It's
We
that
tried
easy.
to keep our equipment going in the bush one time, and we had more breakdowns because of the cold weather making the equipment fail than what money we saved by keeping the engines running.
Right. On that note, everybody, stay alive. This is the real deal. This is could be as bad as any bark outbreak I've seen in my lifetime. As bad. I don't know if it'll be worse, We've seen some bad ones over the years, but it's definitely in that category